What actually happened was 7 years ago, I was done with my postgraduate studies and I went into an agency called Ogilvy & Mather, and it's actually our country's largest agency. So I was quite lucky to end up there. It was basically because I won an internship in my fourth year. So it's very odd that somebody from the Eastern Free State ends up working there. But that was just sheer luck that brought me there. And then I actually got exposed to the Volkswagen advertising world. So that was my first client, my first formal client. What happened is we did a full 360. In other words, it included radio, it included newspapers, it included absolutely everything, and also social media. So they were one of the first guys who actually noticed, but this is a platform that's going somewhere, there's some attention on it. And then at that point, TV was still the biggest spend. But social media has actually surpassed TV now, which is crazy if you think about it. So what happens is where advertising spend goes is where attention goes. Somebody mentioned as well, people tend to be on social media. Even if they watch TV, they'll be on their cell phones. I don't know if you guys have noticed. So the return on investment from absolutely everything we did for them, nothing beat social media. So it was quite easy. I realized there was an absolute gap, and then actually started an agency. I think we were one of the first people who said we're purely a social media agency. That's kind of changed now because a lot of people think social media is going to solve their problems, but we begin with strategy. And I don't know if you guys did the strategy session before coming here. There was a one-pager, not. Did you? Okay, that's quite cool. Okay. If you didn't do it, I'm going to go through it very quickly. If you want to write down the questions maybe and go through it after, but I would love to see what yours actually ended up being. So what happens a lot of the time is people come to us and say, listen, we need social media, and I ask them why, and they struggle to answer me why exactly they need it. So we tend to see that B2C companies, so anyone who serves a consumer directly, social media is really good for you. But once it goes to B2B, which is business to business, it changes slightly in the sense where you choose different platforms. So we talk about social media, but there's actually so many different elements to it. So I'll break it down just in a few seconds, but I'm going to absolutely start with strat, if it makes sense. So if you guys can write down, the first question is, what do you offer? Describe this in detail. So I'll skip that for now. So ignore what's on the screen. Maybe I'll just hide that one for now. So what do you offer? Describe this in detail and add all the services and products you offer. A lot of the times we don't realize actually what it is we sell. So it's quite difficult to communicate to a client or post to a client if you have no idea how to tell someone in 11 seconds what it is you do. So I'm kind of challenging you to internalize what it is that you can give to the world. A lot of the times if somebody says graphic design, there are quite a few graphic designers here, I think. People tend to put it into a box. So can you do digital design? Can you do traditional design? Can you do business cards? Can you do letterheads? So I think it's cool to break down what are the services that I can actually give someone. And after you've written down that one, a second question is, how do you explain what you offer in one sentence? And we call this the elevator pitch. Have you guys heard of that before? So if you get into an elevator and you go 3 floors up, can you tell somebody what it is that you do? That took me about 3-4 years. I couldn't explain to someone what it was that we did because we actually had no idea. It kind of, after a while, we realized what people need and kind of built this thing. And then, why do customers come to you? What do they get from you? So, why would somebody phone you? What is their need? And a really important one, this might vary from what you guys have, is what makes you different from your competition. And this is so important because most clients come to us and tell us we're different, but then explaining why you're different, that really is that's the difficult part. Are you faster? Are you cheaper? Are you more innovative? What is it that you are? And this is probably the most difficult question we ask clients. Am I going too fast? Are you guys fine? Is what does your business need to work on? A lot of the times people come to us and say marketing, and that's why they actually come and see us. But a lot of the time as well, we say, but we can't help you with social media right now because there might be a business issue. So all the marketing in the world can't help you if your service is wrong. if you're offering somebody something no one wants. So that kind of is the core, and that's the whole reason for this session. So what do you offer, and is it worth putting that on social media? Or should you maybe go and fix that first, and then we try again? And then who would be your ideal customer? Most people laugh and say somebody who pays well, but really think who it is that you want to serve. Because if you focus on that, you're going to build a much more sustainable business. Because then we can build it around who that person is and what they need. Okay. And one that's quite cool as well is, what does your business strongly believe in or fight for? So if you didn't do it for money, why did you do it? That's kind of why people fall in love with brands as well. Okay guys, so you are here for social media, so I'm sorry that I took you guys around a bit of a loop, but it makes sense for you when you do social media to know who you are first. Otherwise you post, I'm not certain if you guys want to post for clients or for yourself, but you just duplicate this exercise for your client, and then you can pretty much get to know them quite quickly. We used to not ask these questions and just start posting, which is the worst thing we could do, because you don't understand what they want to sell. And also there's a saying in Afrikaans, in Engels, you don't know what you don't know. So it's good to explore with them and get to know them for a really long time. Okay, so today we're just going to go through a quick introduction of what social media is, what it isn't. We did number 2 already, which is social media strategy, but we usually start with that one. And then we're going to talk about setup, which is so important. Most people don't want to do the basics. They want to start with the ad. But then if your basics are wrong, how do they contact you? And then posting and scheduling, really so cool. So you can basically do all your posts in an hour for the full month, and then you let it go. Did you guys know that? That's quite cool. Instead of thinking every day, what am I going to post today? That's horrible. Most of us are busy running our businesses and trying to get those clients and get the work done. The last thing you want to do is then think, but what am I going to post today? And then ads. This is so important. Only 2% of the people on your professional Facebook page see your posts. It's like tragic stat. So if you don't run an ad, basically what's the point of posting? Like, who's going to see it except for your top 2% of people who follow you? And I'll tell you guys why that's happening as well. Okay, so introduction. What's really horrible is social media is dynamic in nature. What was relevant a year ago is no longer relevant today. So everything you guys will have learned in this session will be redundant in a year. But the key thing is to stay dynamic. You need to be flexible and adapt your strategies quickly when you notice these changes. In other words, teach yourself to, when you open up Facebook and nothing looks the same anymore, not to panic, take 2 seconds and then just readjust and see what's happening. They never email you and say, listen, we're going to change an advertising product. You just wake up one morning and it's completely different. So then just be the first person who's calm and then just continues from there. I'll show you guys quite a few of their products that they've changed, because if you think about it, they are also one of the unicorn startups, which is a company that accumulated a lot of money in a very short time. And they keep product testing. They keep getting better and better, which is why things change all the time. So what they do sometimes is they roll out certain products with certain users and they're not with others. So you might open up someone else's Facebook and it looks completely different. It's because they test with a few people, does this work, doesn't work, and then they either change it or go back. With the publishing section, I'll show you guys what they are doing. Okay, so what are the main focuses of social media channels? So it connects people. Someone here said they usually just use it for them and their friends. I think you said that. That's the number 1 reason, is connection. So it's kind of cool for a brand to then also try and connect to people. It's like a main goal there. To entertain them and to help them engage with content they love to see. So once you understand this, you understand in essence what social media was created for, and then you can start to create something worth following and engaging with. Sell your brand, not your products, and you'll create fans that buy your products anyway. So what happens is we're taking now our business and putting it on a platform that's used for entertainment value. So if I go into social media, it's not to see who's going to sell to me, it's going to see what's happening in the world. So you need to either be very relevant and touch on, whatever's happening in the world right now, or you need to at least be funny, or you at least have to tell them something they didn't know, or give them something for free and adds value to their lives. Otherwise, you might just be, hopping in on someone's feed where they didn't really want you. So that maybe is the challenge of social media and business and connecting the two. This is quite cool. So it's important to note that Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp are all owned by one company. Sorry, I see it got cut off there. Did you guys know that? So they're all owned by one company.
That's amazing how when you chat to somebody on WhatsApp, next day on Facebook it will be a friend suggestion, that person.
Okay. That makes sense, yeah. Because it's quite cool. They've all become now business platforms. If you think about it, where do Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp get money? So WhatsApp was, I think, acquired for 60 billion rand, but it's never made a cent. So very soon there will be ways to monetize that, which is the same that happened with Facebook when they bought Instagram as well. So Instagram didn't have marketing when it started, Facebook as well. So the only way they get money is ads. So what happens now is if you actually open up your phone, I don't know if you guys have your Facebook on your phones. If you go into your phone, you'll see normally you can actually count how many friends posts and how many sponsored ads do you see on your newsfeed. And you'll notice you see 1 or 2 organic posts from a business page. It's like literally doesn't happen anymore because their money literally comes from sponsored ads.
Many more ads nowadays.
And more people's actually also realized that, listen, you can actually run ads on Facebook and Instagram. Most businesses were terrified of doing it. Now everyone's realizing, but listen, we need to use social media ads. It's a cheap platform. It gives you a good return on investment. But 4 or 5 years ago, it was the most amazing platform because hardly anyone knew how to market on it. So you would get a massive reach. And now the more people are advertising on it, the smaller your reach gets because everyone needs a slice of that pie, which is quite cool. So it's basically sponsored ads in your friends' posts, mainly, which is...
How about news platforms? Is it only because you often click on them that you see them?
Yes.
Because of the algorithm? It's not because they actually use the sponsors to boost their news posts?
They did in the beginning, but if you think about it, so Google and Facebook operates in the same way where they want to create a cool, like a good user experience for you. Otherwise, you might just stop using the ad. So the algorithm is all about how do they give you content you want to see. So obviously, you click on news a lot, so it pops up a lot to you. For me, for example, Facebook has a profile on everyone in this room. Mine is I love fitness and chocolate, which I know is completely contradicting, but it's hard to realize that you get put in a box. So I get recipes and I get fitness, like videos.
Because of the pages you've liked previously.
And also the content I react well with. So what do I read the most? Where do I stay the longest? What do I like? It kind of builds a profile of you. I don't know if you guys have ever seen on Netflix, it's a documentary called, is it Hacked? It was about the presidential campaign of Donald Trump and, who was it? Obama. Was it long ago? Was it them? Yeah. And then what he did is they took everyone who was on the fence. Who was against him? It was someone else. Clinton. Thank you. Hillary Clinton. I was like, why? No, thank you. It felt wrong. So what happened was they actually targeted everyone on the fence. So not the left or the right. Everyone who was undecided. They sent fake news about the party they didn't want them to vote for. And that's kind of how he won that campaign. So it's kind of cool. You'll see now that because of that, we've got more policies on the ad section of Facebook. So you actually have to click if you are doing a political campaign or for housing or for credit. Because there's more T's and C's on those. Yeah. Okay, sorry guys, I trail off a lot. But essentially Facebook, Instagram and WhatsApp all integrate. You can also run an ad through Facebook and Instagram, so they actually go through both platforms, which is definitely my favorite type of ad because it means you get 18 placements. It goes onto Facebook stories, Instagram stories, Facebook newsfeed, Instagram newsfeed, on the search section, on the news section, even on the side on the banners. So it's one campaign, but it goes across 2 platforms. And those are the cheapest kind of campaigns with the most reach because you reach...
Sorry, what do you call that again? Is it?
It's automated placements that you click. So it's on the, I'll show you, it's the very end, which section we actually run ads from. It's Facebook, but it's a third-party part of Facebook. And then it gives you the option to actually integrate these two. The big thing is just to never click on boost this post. It's okay. Who has a business page here already? Like 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, it's cool because it's kind of cool for the rest of you to actually open up a page today, like later on. I don't know how you feel, but yeah, it's cool to play around with these because boost this post is something Facebook did to make it very user-friendly and easy to run ads. If you do a sponsored ad through business.facebook.com, but I'll put it up just now at the end, then you can choose page likes or conversions on your website or messages, way more bang for your buck. So it's not just money in the water to reach random people.
So boost is going to cost you money but not deliver much. Is that what
You
you're
don't have
saying?
an objective at the end of the day. You just say reach as many people as possible, but you don't have, I'll show you the detail it goes into when you do a sponsored ad. From there you can literally decide what do you want at the end of it and who exactly do you want. The other one is just really easier for you to boost a post in 5 minutes. The other one takes about half an hour, but you get more of what you are looking for. So it's quite cool. We'll end with that because that to me is the most important part of today. But we're just going to run through the basics and the background, if it's okay, guys. Yeah. Is it cool? Okay. Other platforms to note. So YouTube and Google are owned by the same company, so they are designed to work together. These platforms are excellent for direct search or video-based marketing. You example as well. It will work well for you. Any business, sure, does really well with Google. For example, I'm looking for a website design company. Then you can do a Google search ad. Google also has Google Shopping now, which I don't know if you guys have seen it. If you are looking for shoes or a handbag, it gives you a small photo on top. So that's called Google Shopping. Really cool ads as well. They give like a good return on investment. We've got a furniture client who it works really well for. And then LinkedIn. Crazy enough, of all the social media platforms, 80% of business-to-business leads come from LinkedIn. So a lot of you guys here that serve other businesses, this is actually a really cool platform to explore. Okay, so guys, side note, this document is for Facebook business pages and how to get the most out of yours. So no personal pages or groups are really discussed. The reason for it is groups take a lot of time, but we don't see a great return on investment. It's just been 7 years of finding that out. So Bloemfontein Koop en Verkoop of Sniffelgids. I've posted so many things there, but you don't get exactly back the time and effort you've put in. It makes sense more to do a sponsored ad. So I'll show you guys why now. Okay, strategy. So just to recap, can you explain what you do in one sentence? And do you understand what makes you different? It's really important. We can even call it your key selling point as well. This is literally to the most basic point. Your profile photo will always be your logo. Does anyone know the reason for this? It's basically because when you post, it's this small in newsfeed. So the only thing you can really notice is a logo. Some people have like a whole portrait there of like a photo, and you can't, if it's this big, see anything. So keep it your logo, just makes the most sense. This is because your profile image is a tiny icon in someone else's newsfeed when you post. It needs to be identifiable. And then your cover image needs to be captivating and preferably explain what you do in a simple way. You can know how many Facebook pages we open when somebody just starts with us as a company, and you open it up and you have no idea what that person does for a living. It doesn't explain how they do it or anything about their approach. I have no idea how much it costs to ask them, and you kind of want to answer all these questions before somebody even phones you, because you want to get the perfect clients. So you need to be upfront with, are you expensive, are you inexpensive, are you fast, so that the person phoning you isn't teleurgesteld. I have no idea how to say that in English. Nothing else feels the same way. Disillusion, that's beautiful. So your cover image needs to be captivating and explain what you do in a simple way. It's up there, it never changes, it can be consistent, or you can use it per campaign, but it's cool, it's there for you to use. And then your button needs to be a call to action button. So book now or phone us now, or there are quite a few options. Especially for you guys starting a page today, it's cool to just do these basics and go through every single thing. Then you've already got a page that's really well set up. We hardly ever open up someone's and everything's been filled out. So here as well, where you are, what you do, your story, operating hours, etc. These are the absolute basics which people get wrong. So where are you based, what's your number, what category are you, have you defined yourself well as what the services are you offer. Posting and scheduling, this is quite cool. This made our work quite easier. I think most people think, just background, I don't do everything because I'm a horrible designer, so I'm so envious of everyone sitting in this room. I started in the beginning and did everything. I did everything, and you're terrified. They say personal growth is if you look back and you really, you're terrified of what your work looked like. We've got a designer who does the posts, and then mainly I do the copy at this point. And then we've got someone else who does the scheduling. So we're a whole group of people doing this. Because if you think about social media, there are so many elements to it. And that's why it's actually beneficial to everyone in this room as well. You get video, which as well is a very cool skill to have for social. A lot of people are looking for it now as well. You get graphic design, which everyone who has a Facebook page needs at some point. It's at least getting posts per month, getting your cover image. And then you get copywriting, which is a very scarce skill right now. So if you think about it, the perfect Facebook page actually takes a lot of effort and planning. But anything, just the worst thing we can do is not do anything and not post because we don't have a graphic designer or a copywriter. There's Canva exists as well. I mean, that's if you don't have a designer close to you, use Canva. It's free as well. It's got templates of everything. What to post?
Can
Okay.
you spell that, sorry?
Canva, C-A-N-V-A. Yeah. Yeah, it has a template for every single social media size, even for flyers, for banners, whatever you need. 5 things you want to do. And a lot of people get this wrong because they post the same thing over and over again. So one is you need to educate your audience. I cannot tell you guys, each one in your industries, how many misconceptions there probably are. And it's actually our job to teach people the right way of doing things. For us, for example, we are Facebook certified and Google certified. So it's quite difficult if somebody asks you, why are you a Facebook expert? Everyone uses it every day. There's really a certification process. So we try also to educate people, what to look for. So if somebody gives you back your social media after a month and say, listen, this is what we did this month, don't look at reach, look at actual conversions. So how many people actually came into store? How many people actually commented on your post? So look for not just, they call it vanity metrics. So it sounds awesome if you tell somebody 200,000 people viewed your ad. But if nobody clicked, if nobody came to you, what is the point of that actual thing? So that's, for example, educating your audience.
And shares is probably also important.
Shares is very important because if you think about it, personal profiles still get a lot of traction where business pages don't. So somebody sharing to their page is a major win. Entertaining your audience. This can be a funny meme, a feel-good story, which you guys can absolutely do, that happened this week at your business, or an interesting video. I don't know if any of you use TikTok. Not. So I love TikTok so much. It's quite funny. A guy started working for us 2 or 3 years ago, and he was just out of school. And he actually told me, Facebook, nobody uses Facebook anymore. And that was basically the basis in what we ran our company.
Yeah,
we still do.
It's for old people.
Yes. And I realized I was old people all of a sudden. But what happens is, unfortunately, Facebook is still where the guys with the wallets are. So 35 to 65, that's where they operate. And then Instagram has become a bit of an extension of it, but also a younger crowd. And now TikTok is actually flaming up. It's actually becoming a platform more and more people use. So again, it's kind of I know somebody earlier talked about Twitter. So Twitter, we don't even mention in here because the return on investment for your client is just nothing. Running an ad on Twitter, The cheapest ads you can run is Facebook and Instagram, automatic placements, and then WhatsApp you can also integrate into that if you want to. But then if there's a new platform like TikTok, not a lot of people are trying it, but there's a lot of eyes there. Might be a very cool platform to use for your clients. So that's what this early...
I'm seeing the wrong stuff, but it's all very, pop. I don't know, pop is the wrong word.
It's quite funny.
I can't think of a worse word. But
yeah, it's based on your own likes. So it might be that they've got your algorithm wrong. Because it changed the first time.
I'm getting more and more of these goals that shouldn't be like. I honestly never went to.
That's so funny because I hated it for the first 2 weeks, went on it for a bit longer, and then it became all better and better and better the more like they realized what I was looking for. Oh my goodness. No. But it's a very entertaining platform. It makes me laugh. So if a client goes on there and makes me laugh, it's quite cool. Guys, inspiring your audience, also very cool. Motivate them. Show them what can happen if they stick with their goals and dreams or with your services. This is especially for, let's say, a client offers diets or fitness and weight loss. I mean, you can inspire them. It makes somebody want to also try it out. And then sell your services and products. This is the main reason that you have a page. So it's quite difficult because you obviously just want to sell what you do, but you need to actually find clever ways of still being entertaining while you do it. The best pages do this. And then build your brand. Show them your team. Explain what you stand for. Really cool. A brand isn't a logo. It's the people that work there. It is the way you feel when you enter a business. So you want to build that kind of brand. Okay, so did this help slightly? Is it like a whole new world opening up? Yeah.
Nadia, I just wonder, your business now, do you have specific clients like a graphic designer or someone where you do all these things for them? Do you
mainly? So we've got 3 or 4 options.
Would you recommend that we do that? Businesses actually do their own thing, or is it better to use a company like yours to do it more professionally?
That's a very good question.
Perhaps
It
an
makes
unfair
sense.
question to ask you.
No, not at all. I'm very honest about it. It feels that a client themselves can do it like the best, but they don't have all the capabilities. So they don't have an in-house. So the best part is working together, because the best campaigns we've had is where the client's very, very involved, and they give us feedback the whole time. And then we also create amazing, cool content, which is based on that brief. And we do the photography. It's so much effort, honestly. Then it works really well. There are instances where a client just wants to get rid of it and gives it to us, but we still need information. So without that information, it looks generic. I mean, we can't really go deep. But the more you get to know a client, the more we've kind of become a part of a few businesses where they actually joke and say we work for them. And we've got an office in one of our clients' places. Buildersmart, for example, we literally have an office there because we've just become so integrated with it. I need to be able, if we do someone's social media, I need to know that business as well as if I was working there. Otherwise, I can really mess up. And our system is very well thought out because we've made every mistake possible after like a few years. So what we do is every second week we have a meeting with the client. Then we plan their content for 2 weeks. And then before the new month, they sign it off. So that whatever they don't like or do like, we add or we subtract that. And then we go live. So before August even started, all our content was done for 40 business pages at the end of July, which is crazy, but it kind of works, yeah. Because then at least everyone knows what's happening. But the best pages I think out there would be if somebody's really involved and works on it like day and night. Because this has essentially become a job on its own. Like a lot of companies have like social media managers, but the worst part is literally you have to then be good at copywriting, you have to be good at the technical part, and you have to be good at designing. You actually need 3 or 4 people. So we're less than the cost of an extra person, but we can do 4 people's jobs, if it makes sense. I think that's why it's been working so well. Yeah.
What I found is, I haven't been a social media expert, but it's been part of a lot of things that I had to do. When you work at a business I actually agreeing with what you say. So I'm a media officer for said company, and social media is one of the things I do. Because I'm involved in everything at the company, it's easier to do the social media because you work there, you know what the meetings are about.
That's true.
And that's I think where the planning comes in for you, because you need to know what that business is about to post about them. You can't just post random stuff all the time.
The thing
so
is,
for me, when I had to do the social media, it was a lot easier to have the understanding and actually work there every day, sit in the meetings, know what the brand is, the feel is. But that's hard. That only happens when they appoint you as, say for instance, the media officer, because then it's easier to kind of do those things.
Yeah.
But like at a big company, obviously, like you said, they actually have a team at a company. One does social media, one does media, one does whatever. So
then it works well. Yeah. The problem is a lot of companies who do what we do, they don't have a strategy. And that's why we kind of started with it. They literally post Happy Mother's Day,
Yes.
Happy Father's Day, Happy
Women's
Christmas,
Day, not
Happy
Women's
Women's
Day.
Day. So I don't see how that really wins you friends, or I don't know anything more about your business unless you made a joke about it in a way, or like educated me. So you can still say, let's say you're Fashinis. Checkers did an excellent job like yesterday. They said we employ something like 90,000 women. So Happy Women's Day, and we're rebuilding now after all the chaos that happened. So that's relevant. It's really cool. It's personal. It's all of a sudden I want to go to Checkers and buy something. So there are ways of doing it. I just think a lot of people get it wrong. And that's perhaps the fight we're fighting, is getting really good content out there. Because it's honestly, it's not, what we do isn't a quick job, because it's so many different sorts of content. It's knowing the business, scheduling it, and then running ads as well. So it's actually a terrible job, but it's lovely as well, so it's fine. Yeah. Okay, so what to post? This is quite cool. So guys, this is how we schedule. So this is a bit of an exercise you can try at home as well. If you've got a whole month's calendar in front of you, you can usually say, okay, it's almost October, so you can plan it already for Black Friday, and then Cyber Monday. You can already plan for it, so you can already start posting about 10 days to go, whatever you want to do. But you can fill a month quite quickly. You can say on Mondays we inspire, on Tuesdays we build our brand, on Wednesdays we sell, on Thursdays we educate, and on Fridays we entertain. So let's say, for example, every Monday we've got an inspiring quote based on what we do as a business. Every Tuesday we introduce you to somebody who works for the company. Every Wednesday we show you a different product or service. Every Thursday we educate you about that product or service. And then Fridays we just, entertain you. And very quickly you've filled up a month. Yeah, does that help? Have you guys tried that before?
So it's a good idea to post every single day.
No, I wouldn't say so. It's too much. We've got like a section in here that also says, a lot of people ask how many times do I need to post? But if you post too much, you look like spam, and then people get irritated with you. And if you never post, you're inactive, and people end up unfollowing you. We've kind of found like
So where's the number?
yeah. So we've settled now, and it took so long. 3 times a week, 2 to 3 times, which is actually enough. Yeah. So it works out.
That was the question. Advertise your business, right?
Yes, yeah. The thing is, less than advertising your business, it's kind of what you guys do. It's telling people, storytelling about your business. So it's letting them in. It's showing them, listen, this is the person doing your ads. This is what she looks like. This is what she loves. And all of a sudden you feel like you know that person. Because if you walk into that business, you've already seen the faces. It doesn't seem completely unfamiliar to you.
But that's probably the side of Facebook I like the least, just for one platform, is not so much the advertising bit, but just to kind of, I'm here.
Yes.
I'm here.
Yeah.
You know? It's so not part of my personality, but...
Oh, yeah.
So, but in any case, we had to listen.
No, that's fine. The thing is, you can, there's not really a set way. We give rules, and then by all means you need to break them. Because at the end of the day, it's no use, and me as well, I enjoy posting great content. I don't enjoy posting about myself. And sometimes I've had to do that, and it's actually had good responses, because then at least people know who's doing the ads. It's difficult. No, I understand. Especially as a business owner, you're used to being behind the camera or behind the laptop, but sometimes it's quite cool if people know who is it that's doing my work, and then they actually find you relatable or not. Yeah.
I just want to say that I'm here. You don't need a car battery, but in 2 days' time you start your car and the battery's flat, and you sell batteries. And so that, hi, I'm here.
I remember.
What I'm trying to say is,
That's
when
true.
you don't need the service, the hi, I'm here will just go by. But then the one day, the guy needs that service.
That's true.
And you remember the ad.
And you remember the hi, I'm here, and I think, because I've paged, like back in the day, paged through the tabloids, and I'm thinking, I could have sworn in the right bottom corner was a tyre ad. I saw the tyres are flat, and I'm paging through an old one to see if I can't find that ad.
Yeah.
Because that was also the frequency.
Oh, that's how we work.
Place your advertisement, the same spot every week, so people start
That's so
to...
true.
50 times I'll page through it,
Yeah.
past it, but then that one time when you...
We
really
need it. It's there.
Yes.
Because it's quite true what you're saying, because, social is just one platform. You've got like so many other platforms. You've got newspapers, you've got Google, which is a search engine again. You've got billboards. It's all about buying space in people's minds so that they remember you all the time. Social media is just now the cheapest, most relevant one. It's having a moment, and I think it's going to have a moment for a long time, and it'll adapt. It'll have different kind of social media platforms still popping up. The thing is just Facebook is so huge, and it actually has so many resources. You'll automatically see if another platform, for example, TikTok pops up. Instagram will answer and have Reels, which is also videos, much the same. So Snapchat, I mean, it has almost completely disappeared once Instagram started Instagram stories. So that's why I kind of believe in these platforms, because they've got the resources and the manpower to keep actually getting this better and better and better. If it helps, yeah. But guys, I almost forgot to tell you, you can find the scheduling tool on Facebook itself, which is quite cool. So it's free to use. You'll either have publishing tools on the left-hand side, or you'll have Creator Studio, because Creator Studio is now actually replacing publishing tools very slowly. So some of you will already have Creator Studio, and some of you will still have publishing tools, and it'll phase it out over the time. Yeah.
It might be a little bit more specific to what we do, and I don't know too many of the other people, but like YouTube used to be a place where we could go as videographers. But now what you're saying is there's also other little like streams, like rivulets with that.
Videographers are also, you guys are actually positioned so well. It's like,
that's what they've been saying.
Yes.
I'm seeing it.
No, position yourself well. Keep saying, hi, I'm here. Because the thing is, every single business wants a reel or a TikTok or a story or a promotional video. And it's also about pricing yourself well as well. Video is, for most of my clients, the most expensive part of social media. So it's also giving them a package, and even coming up with a retainer fee that might be slightly lower than you ask now, but then 12 months of work. Most of our clients do want videos every single month. So it's what you guys do is like exactly what people want. We can't do that.
It's a difficult one for us to do because our big money is away from here.
Yeah.
You know, now you have to tie yourself up for 6 months or 12 months. But I reckon you can structure your business in that way. Then you don't have to go away.
No, you can film one day like 12 hours and then do different snippets. But no, you guys are having a wonderful moment actually.
Keep telling me that.
It really is.
I know we can ask you a lot of questions and keep you out of your presentation, but
yeah.
Videos itself, I found that does it do better on Instagram than on Facebook. It used to be on Facebook, but now that Instagram, I found that the videos don't do that well on Facebook anymore.
It's so strange. We do hundreds of ads for people, and a static photo still does the best. On both, yeah, because it's simplicity that's key. Most guys are in a meeting scrolling through their phones, and if you see a video, or at school, and then they actually realize, but there might be sound, and scroll past. Yeah, even at work as well, people will sit in meetings, bored.
At a stage a year or 2, 3 ago, it was video on all the social media platforms. And I found that the videos don't do as well. And I've had beautiful videos that I posted, got somewhere, added on, and then, like you said, the static photos still did better. So I was like,
why?
It's also time consuming, I think.
That's true.
People don't want to watch it because it takes time.
Yeah. You'll see 4 or 5 minutes, you think, is it worth it now? Is it 2 minutes? Okay, update.
30 seconds maybe.
The reasoning as well with videos is that the first 3 to 10 seconds needs to be like amazing, otherwise you'll just leave, because people's attention spans has now become like this long. So it's quite a science probably as well, but static photos, to be honest, and it's because we test like so many times. Even 2 pieces of content, you can do an A/B split test on Facebook and go which one does better. So it's quite cool, because we're exactly now at the right place to actually talk about this. Paid Facebook advertising, which, guys, really is, if you are in business and you have a page, this is the section that makes the most sense. We need to switch our brains to thinking about social media as a paid-for medium. Organic reach is very low. For a school, I suspect it's slightly higher because you guys have such a loyal following. But to get new people to actually start using your services. It needs to be someone who's probably not in your network, probably won't be sharing your content, and who probably already doesn't know what you do. So this is how you actually reach maximum amount of people for the cheapest price, because I've never found another platform in the 7 years I've been doing this that can do what this can do. So not radio, not TV, not newspaper or anything. And the thing I love about social and digital overall is you can measure everything. So you can actually see how many people open it up, how many people click through, how many people actually watched a video more than 1 minute, which is awesome. And this is called Facebook Business Manager. And if you know it or not, if you have a business page or if you have Instagram and you've ever moved over to a business profile for Instagram, you already you've opened up a Facebook Business Manager, which is quite cool. And you can find this one on business.facebook.com. So if you guys have a notebook somewhere, just write that one down and just go look at it, because it's quite cool. This is where we run our ads from as well. Within Business Manager, you'll find your own business, and then this is usually connected to your credit card, and you can actually create an ads manager, which is quite cool. You'll see it's the one in pink just below the Business Manager. So in this, you can create ads. It's also where, has any one of you heard about Instagram and Facebook shopping? Yeah. You guys? No. So most people don't know how to set up those shops. It's also hidden in here. So that's why Facebook for some people is difficult, because they don't know this side of Facebook actually exists. This is essentially what we call the back end of Facebook. It's almost if you open up a website and you go into WordPress and you edit it. This is quite the same. So in here you can actually put your Facebook shop. You can go to Commerce Manager and create that. Page posts, we usually do our posts from here, because what happens is, and it's not in here, it's in here, but long ago if you posted on Facebook, you would get the option of upload video, carousel. Have you guys ever seen a carousel? It's like a few photos. That's where that's hidden. Create slideshow. This is also being phased out from normal Facebook, so you can find it on this section as well. And this is notoriously not user-friendly at all, but the more you spend time with this, the more you'll get used to it. And if any of you guys actually want to upskill yourselves, go to Facebook Blueprint. This is where you get Facebook certified as well. So you can actually learn all the ins and outs and become a Facebook specialist. Training course. It's Facebook's training course, which is quite cool. So it's it's the one you can get certified for. You only pay for the exams, which are around 750 Rand. There are about 8 or 9 of them. So you don't have to do all of them. You can start with ads. You can do the developer course. You can literally decide what works the best for you. There's also strategy.
So that's the place again?
Oh, it's Facebook Blueprint. You can type it in. It's really worthwhile. Yeah.
Is it per module 700?
Yeah, it's a full certification. So they've got different ones. I love studying and learning, so I did all of them, but it took me quite a while. It's also online through Cuberoo that you actually do the exam as well. It's kind of intense. It's 3 hours, and you're not allowed. You have to show them the whole room, and it's quite cool so to make sure that you aren't cheating in any way. But I mean, if you do the first one already, it's so valuable. I think it's called Facebook Business Manager. I can't remember, but it's just dip your toes in the water, go and try it out. You don't even have to do the exam for now. Just go and study it, the first one. It really opens up what you can do, what you can't do, etc., etc. But if you don't want to go that route, you can also open up this, if you've got the page, and just start making mistakes. Just start exploring, setting up campaigns, deleting them, see what campaigns you can run. It's really about just exploring in here. It's cool to, before you do the exam, to also explore this, because then you can also see practically what you're studying. So guys, this is quite cool. Once you are in Ads Manager, click on Create, and these will be your options, which is quite cool. This is everything you can do with a Facebook ad. So on the left, we have brand awareness and reach, which I'm not crazy about, because it means you can scroll past it on your Facebook, and you pay Facebook money because you've reached another person. But that person didn't stop and look at your ad. So this is called awareness. Not my favorite. In the middle, we've got consideration, which is a step further. You're asking a bit more from the user. I quite enjoy traffic on top, which means website traffic. So sending people from Facebook to your website. Engagement, which means either, and you'll see I've highlighted below, post engagements. No, that one's slightly difficult to read. Page likes and then event responses. So big concerts also uses event responses. Only if somebody says, yes, I'm going, can Facebook take money from it. So it's quite cool. Apps installations isn't really something you'll use. Probably video views. Quite cool. It's almost like YouTube. So seeing how many views you can get from the videos. That's going to work great for you guys as well. If you put and then lead generation we use a lot. That is, for example, we've got financial planners, companies of them, and they want new clients. So we say, get your first consultation free, fill in your name and your email address here, and your number, and we'll phone you tomorrow. That's quite cool. Messages, just get more inbox messages. And then on the far right-hand side is if you've got a website that's set up really well. Conversions, top right, is every time you want somebody to check out, for example. Let's say you've got an online clothing store. You set up your website with a pixel. Has anyone here heard about the pixel? We're going very top level now, I'm sorry guys. It will make sense to you once you guys start delving into this. The pixel is essentially a piece of code you get from Facebook that you install into your website. And then it tracks certain things. So you can say, listen, I want to track purchases. I want to track, let's say, for example, you've got a form on your website. I want to track how many people checked out the form, who registered and filled it in. Catalog sales, quite nice. If you set up your commerce, don't know if you guys remember in the previous slide. So your online shop, you can say, listen, I want sales from this catalog. And then store traffic has been a bit of an issue now. With COVID, they don't want feet to go to businesses. Obviously, they want social distancing to be at the end of the day. So that one's difficult to do now, but that's literally location-based marketing. So guys around your store, getting them to actually visit. Quite cool. Yeah. So the secret, I know a lot of people online do courses and say, listen, we've got the secret, buy this book here and you'll dominate social media. The thing about social and digital is testing, testing, testing. There's not one secret that fits every single business. It's literally running an engagement ad and seeing how it goes. It's running a conversion ad and seeing how it goes. And then changing your audience, changing your content until you've got like the perfect recipe for you. So yeah, it's all about being an early adapter, staying flexible and always being open to learning. Yeah, that's literally it.